Hey, I don't have an engaging hook, so I'm just gonna go right into it. I also want to show off my side for once. Um, so real quick, this isn't really relevant to anything, but I was able to get this mirror for like $5 at Thriftsburg thing, a thrifting thing the school was doing, so that was really awesome. Okay, now delve into what's actually going on. So the interview, the mini series, limited series, whatever, has been finished. Really, really happy. I always like when I'm able to finish something because it proves to myself that I'm capable of finishing stuff I start, and that's always good going to the next project I work on or continuing a project I am doing, right? 'Cause I think that's what was a big doubt of myself, that I can't finish stuff that I start. Anyways, really happy that's done. I think everyone should go watch that interview. I think it's a really good interview. Um, Now into the other stuff. So I just showed like the map chart of the rest of the stuff that need to be done. It even finished. That was like how many stuff that needs I want to work on and needs to be finished. But now I also kind of realized I've been rushing too much into this college thing. I think my biggest fear, essentially coming to, not my biggest fear, but one of my fears that I think predominantly took my head or mind space going to college was that I wasn't going to have like a social circle to work around with. And I knew I was able to, I had a feeling I was able to do a work, but I was worried that I would be too indoors. So I've been going to like every social event, like school social event, networking, computer, anything that the computing the school of computing is doing. I'm always there. So I kind of want to take a I just want to take a like slow that down a bit because I think I've been rushing too much into it, and I actually took my roommate vacuuming the floor to make me realize actually maybe I should like sit down for a bit. I've been going out way too much. I do love walking, but I think now I understand the why when I was at home. It was actually beneficial to stay at home some days and not just like leave the house to do something fun. But yeah, I think I actually just had to sit down, get some work done. I did my calculus one class today. I never actually talked about the classes. So yesterday was the recursion class. I think I'm saying that right. And essentially we funny enough we had the recursion before the lecture, and then it was weird, and the recursion they kind of mixed it up because we were doing calculus too for the whole class. I was answering questions like left and right to the point where he said like, so you can't answer any more questions, but I was eventually allowed to answer more questions because people were answering, and then later on people started answering. Anyways, turns out that was calculus 2, so I was like, oh dang, maybe I should go to calculus 2. I can't go to calculus 2 because I didn't do IB math HL, so I do think that if you want to do calculus and stuff like that, you should try doing the HL courses in high school, even though there's a whole issue with that. Anyways, that was really awesome. Then I actually did the lecture day, which was a bit more complicated, but like halfway I realized that it was just the stuff I did in IB Math SL, but the stuff that we kind of glossed over and said it's just is that way. He was going more in depth into why it is that way, right? So we knew the logic, we just didn't know like the components. Like we knew how to use the phone, we just didn't know how to the circuit in the phone worked, right? I think that's a good way to explain it. So that's very nice. Besides that, though, there's not much else. I'm kind of just gonna work. My next class, sorry, my first class tomorrow starts at 3 because my lab was canceled. So then I kind of have a lot of time to just work on different stuff. I kind of want to refresh on calculus 'cause I think I'm not behind, but I want to be ahead. That's really the idea with a lot of these classes. I think that's where I am with a lot of the stuff right now. So we're programming. I look at the syllabus. There's a point in the syllabus where like, oh, okay, I don't actually know those stuff. So before we even get to that point, I want to be like, okay, I know these stuff, but and when they're teaching me, it's like, oh, it's a refresher. I can like, I know I can handle myself, right? So I think that's just the best way to succeed in this, and that's what I'm trying to do. And then obviously the DP 203 203 thing. Every time I hear about internships, I think that's really one of the only ways I can stand out when it comes to this. It's also just a great thing to learn about Microsoft Azure because for a lot of jobs I want, maybe that would be really helpful. So I think one of the most standout factors, especially being a freshman, if I'm able to get that certificate, I believe my theory is that that'll help me stand out in a crowd of juniors and seniors. So I'm hoping for the best. I also have to work on scholarship. So the idea is essentially I have to sit my butt down and actually get to work. Um, Besides that, I have nothing else to say. Hey, so this is just a quick tip because I forgot to mention in the video, but I've joined the NESB chapter of the University of Pittsburgh. Now I think I just have to join the national chapter, but I'm 50% of the way there essentially. So now since I've done the school chapter, it's just national chapter, which I think is $5 to pay your due. And then yeah, I forgot to say this. Have a great day.